Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We're going to talk about 12 different ways you can handle rejection. Everybody gets rejection every once in a while. Remember when you were a little kid and you didn't get the cookie that you wanted? That was rejection. So rejection just goes all through life. But we're going to give you some safe and great ways to accept rejection and just kind of muddle through it. Just remember, it's only a temporary thing. Okay, so let's talk about this. Is through bestlifeonline.com. Bestlifeonline.com. So here's the number one thing right here. Okay, I think it's number one. Don't reject yourself in the process. Please don't do that. And it's easy to do. You know, you think, oh, what did I do? It's a personal thing. Most of the time, it's not personal. The last thing you want to do is to get rejected twice in a row. So especially if one of those times is by yourself. So you may feel angry and sad about being rejected, but that's normal. But make sure your self-talk is soothing, okay? Don't beat yourself up about it. Sometimes it's just bad timing. Think about that. Okay, it's important to remind yourself that you don't deserve to be treated that way and that you're a wonderful friend, partner, employee, whatever the case may be, okay? Don't beat yourself up, okay? And I know I'm preaching to my own self on this one, okay? Don't beat yourself up. Rejection just happens. Okay, here's another one right here. Just deal with it. Deal with the rejection heads on. You know, sometimes we just don't want to have to deal with it. You think, well, if I ignored it, it's going to go away. Just deal with it. So this is what the author says. It's common to brush rejection to the side to get over it. But it's a 2015 study published by the Journal of Current Directions in Psychological Science showed that it's the best way to deal with it. Just head on, just drag it, just get it out of the way. Instead of pretending like your negative emotions don't exist, just make sure you really think about why you're feeling the way you are and just work through the pain. Otherwise, the negativity might reemerge later on. You know, it's kind of like this. I know I was my first real management job. I was 25 years old when I got this job. Had a lot to learn. I was extremely green. I was. So my boss wanted to talk with me about, you're going to have rejection. I mean, things like that are going to happen. She said, but let me tell you what you need to do. She said, first of all, when you are planning your day, you're planning your week, you're planning the month, and then you plan the quarter, then you plan the year. The best thing to plan is what you don't like to do, what you don't want to do, what you're dreading the most. And she was absolutely, Kathy was right on target on that. Because what happens is if you're planning something you really don't want to do, you're doing the things you like to do, but then you're thinking about it. You know, even though I want to go walk my dog, I'd rather just go walk the dog. I'd rather go to the garden. I'd rather do this, do that. But you can't enjoy the things you like doing because you're dreading doing the thing you don't want to do. So I really like this. And common to brush rejection to the side, but just deal with it because it's going to emerge sometime and it's going to emerge another way. So let's just deal with it and get it out of the way, okay? And then you'll find it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. You know, that's the thing about worry. And I'm bad at this too. So you're imagining all the bad things that are going to happen. I promise you, 99% of that stuff's not going to happen. So you got yourself all worked up. It's all in your head. You think, oh my God, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. Never happens. It's just called worry. The enemy likes to use it against you. Okay, so let's talk about this one. It's practice gratitude. Yeah, there's two friends. They're hugging their necks. Okay, so after being rejected, there are probably plenty of negative thoughts that are going to hit your head. Okay, it's all this stuff's going through your mind. To make sure they don't consume your life, which it can, be sure to highlight what you're thankful for in life too. So try to do this. So I'm thinking about, oh, this negative, nasty thing happened today, and oh, I'm just dwelling on it, and you know, I'm driving everybody else crazy. I'm talking about it and all this kind of stuff. Just stop for a minute and think about something really good that happened in your life. That helps me. It really does. To make sure they don't consume your life, be sure to highlight what you're thankful for in life too. Focus on all the wonderful things and people in your life that are making you feel a sense of appreciation and belonging, Sherman says. This is the author. Don't allow one person's behavior to make you feel unworthy or unloved. A lot of us are dealing with this stuff in family. You know, you're going to have family members who are just out there. And I know you want to get along with them and you want to, do the right thing, but the thing to do is just let it go. And just, the person's going to trip their own self up eventually. And it always happens. It really does. Do a study on the book of Proverbs. It really helped me as well. And you'll get wisdom there in learning how to deal with it. You need to accept that it's their problem and not yours. Okay, so let's go on to number 4. Okay, remember, it's not always a reflection of who you are. Even though it may feel like it in the moment, one doctor says it's important to remember that being rejected isn't a reflection of who you are. People get turned down for every sort of thing, for all kinds of reasons that have nothing to do with merit. And so this is what Frederick Newman, MD, says. He says, most members of the opposite sex will really be taken with you just as others immediately are turned away for reasons that are not even clear to that other person, let alone to you. Sometimes maybe you think of, I'll just give you a really good option. Okay, so Phil and I, we used to own a Snelling franchise. And so we were headhunters. We would help people in management, people find jobs, and doctors and nurses and just anything professional wise. And then we also helped with temporary jobs. So this lady gave us what we called a job order. It was a job order. And so she was looking for a guy or a woman to manage it was a real high-end apartment complex. And she said they can live here, they'll just be responsible to make sure everybody's got what they want, anything to do with the management part of it. So we sent this guy, and he was actually willing to take less salary than what he had earned previously. He was from, I think he was from Connecticut. He had exactly what she was looking for. Okay, so we were living in Alabama at this time. So this was, again, a very high-end apartment complex, and I think it was in Birmingham. This was like 30-something years ago. And so we send this guy over, and I'm just excited. I'm just like this, because I always wanted to help my customers, and it was as if I owned the apartment complex, and Phil and I were looking for the perfect person for this position. So the guy he was very polite. I checked his references. They were just all top notch, had never been in trouble. Background check worked out great. Everything was perfect. So I sent him over for the job interview, and she said, not going to work out. And I said, well, I must be blind to something. I said, what are you talking about? I said, he has the background you're looking for. And this guy is, he was making like $100,000 where he was living, but then you have to think of the high cost of living, so I thought that was the reason. I thought, well, she's gonna think he's gonna miss that money. Well, he'd already done his research. He knew what kind of money that he'd be able to live like he was in Connecticut and still, keep the lifestyle he had. She said, nope, that's not it. And I said, well, what is it? I said, because we've done the background check. Everything is just perfect. Everything is just, up to par. And he's telling me he wants the job. He said, I would love this. He said, this would be just perfect, and he'd have a place to live. He'd make a nice living. He'd make a nice salary. Just have to buy, necessary things to live. And she said, okay, I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. He looks like my ex. And I said, well, what does he need to do? Have a makeover on his face? I said, this guy's got everything you're looking for. So the only thing is he looks like your ex. And she said, that's it. So I said, do you mind me telling him? I said, because he is just freaking out. He thinks he's done something wrong on the interview, and he wanted me to find out from you exactly what he did wrong. She said, he didn't do anything wrong. He did everything right. I can't look at that guy because he's going to remind me of my ex every single day. So I got back. I haven't found him another job. But anyway, it was just like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? So see, he didn't know why he was being rejected. It's not like he couldn't help it. He looked like her ex. So there you go. So you never know sometimes why you're being rejected. It could be something you didn't do. You had no clue. And there you are being rejected. Okay, let's go on here to number 5. And I like this one too. Spend time with those you love. Quit thinking about all the negative morons who are trying to make your life difficult. So while being rejected by someone is hard, it's more the reason to spend more time with those who do embrace you and those people who welcome you. People have a fundamental need to belong after all. This could make rejection feeling much worse. However, use this contrasting experience to gain clarity on who's really there for you in your life, and double down on spending time with them, the author says, Sherman says. I think that's just great response right there. Okay, number 6, let's talk about this one right here. Find support from people who are going through the same thing. Sometimes when something bad happens, when we're being rejected, again, for the job reason, the guy had no clue why he was being rejected. He just looked like the lady's ex. There's nothing he could do about that. So spending time with people who love you is great. Quit dragging yourself and dwelling on the ones who they hate their own self. They're never going to be happy. No matter what you do, you're never going to be able to make them happy. So deal with the ones who love you. But sometimes it's nice to be able to talk to someone who really gets what you're dealing with, okay? So let's talk about that friend. Whether it's a rejection from a partner or getting turned down from a job promotion, it's so easy to find support, okay? Even if it's simply through by the way, there's a website that I like to check out. Some family issues. Not my husband, of course, but from a real close relative, and it's been since we moved back, and we moved back to Alabama from Charlotte, North Carolina in 2013, and she just won't stop. She just won't stop. And so I have found this website. It's called reddit.com, and you spell it REDDIT.com. So if you're having some kind of a personal life situation or anything, maybe it's your job, maybe it's your boss, they will give you like a million things. Type in what that episode is, and you're going to be able to see the response from other people. And this website has been really, really awesome. So even though it's through someone you don't even know through Reddit, it can be healing. It really can. Having like-minded people weigh in and give you advice will make you feel like you're not alone. This is how I found out how to deal with a situation with a family member, and this is how I found out what a narcissist is. I'd heard of it, but I didn't know really what a narcissist was. Narcissists are jealous. You can't do anything. You could give them $1 million, and they would fuss because you gave it to them in the wrong hand. So some people just can't be pleased. The best thing to do is take yourself out of the situation and not worry about it, because all it's going to do is drag you down. It's going to take your joy away. I don't want your joy to be taken away. Mine almost was. It almost was when we moved back, but not anymore. I hang with my real good friends, and also think about this. So my higher being is God, Jesus. So when I'm feeling sometimes it just kind of comes back. And so when I'm thinking about that, I'll say, God, I don't know how to deal with this anymore. It's a weird situation. I can't handle it. I don't know what to do. And just almost within just a few minutes after I do that, one of you guys will send me a nice message telling me you like the show or something. It always happens. This show has really been consolation for me, and I want to thank you for that. Let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. So y'all hang in there. And thank you so much for the encouragements. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park, and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back! The My Pillow guy!
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to mypillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. So I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's a fun part of my life, and I love dealing with you every day. I think you're pretty awesome. So we're talking about, sometimes you just get, we mentioned the guy that we're trying to help him find a job. Sometimes you're just rejected. And through no fault of your own, like the guy who was just the perfect candidate for the job turned down because he look like this lady's ex-husband. And so, sometimes you don't know why in the world, but you are. So let's talk about, we're on number 7 right now. Number 7, by the way, this website is bestlifeonline.com. bestlifeonline.com. So number 7 is learn from your mistakes. Oh man, this is like, it's like when you go through these mistakes and you do these crazy things that are just kind of not you, and maybe you got led by somebody else. This is just the way it is. But you can learn from mistakes. And this is what I could write a book on what not to do about every situation in life, because I've made so many mistakes, and you have too. Just got to fess up to it, own up to it. If you completely brush off your rejection and try to move on without a second thought, you could be setting yourself up for failure down the line. So instead, what I want you to do is this. Take the time to learn from your mistakes and the times you might have done wrong, the things you might have done wrong that led to the rejection. Then when you try again in the future, you'll have all that extra knowledge on your side. Think about that. Sometimes you just have to reflect. See, like this lady's doing right here. She's found her safe place, and everybody needs a safe place, by the way. Everybody needs a journal. You need to write down these things, and you'll be able to go back later on and reflect on it, just like this lady's doing. Okay, so apparently she's been rejected in some way. It could be a boss. It could be, not getting the job that she thought was going to be her dreams. And let me tell you about that. Okay, so we're talking about the guy. We helped him go on this job interview. He was the guy. I mean, he was the perfect one for the job. He was rejected because he looked like this lady's ex. He wound up with something so much better. So then, in retrospect, it was a good thing that he didn't get that job. Even though you're thinking, oh, that's the one, that's the job of my dreams, that's the one that, it may not be. It could have been something horrible could have happened out of that. So think about that. So when you're rejected, there's a reason for it. Okay, now do something to make yourself happy. Okay, so this lady is happy. Okay, she's looking in a bright spot. Instead of letting yourself down for days after a rejection, do something to bring your spirits back. Rather than taking a rejection personally or letting it ruin your day, decide to do something that makes you happy, like buy yourself some flowers, get a massage, practice self-love. You're worth it. Absolutely. Do something for yourself. Okay, so this is what I like to do. I don't like to shop. I just really don't. If I know I want a black skirt, I go buy the black skirt. I'm out of there. Okay, so I'm just not one of those shoppers. But I do love to go to thrift stores and just kind of pilfer around. You never know what it's going to be. It's like a surprise. It's almost like, and it doesn't cost much to do that. And then what I like to do, I like to find my little given thing and then make something beautiful out of it. And kind of like the tin cans right here. Okay, so just dug those out of the trash can. By the way, thank you for sending cans. People are sending me tin cans now. And I'm loving it because you can make a thing of beauty out of it. So think of something beautiful you can do for yourself. It may not be shopping. It may be just taking a walk. And planting a garden is like one of the most healing things you can do. And I found a great way to do it, and that's using concrete blocks. Because what I don't like about gardening is pulling weeds. Nobody likes that. So find something you love doing. If it's writing a book, whatever it is, just do it. Just deal with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready again. Let's see, here we go. I somehow got myself out of it. So doing something to make yourself happy. Get out there and try again. Just because something didn't work out the first time doesn't mean that that's going to be forever thing. Okay, sometimes it's just the wrong thing. There's no country song, and some of you probably heard this old country song, and it was this song is like, thank God for unanswered prayers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, how many times when you were young, you were 14 and you had puppy love? Yeah, Donny Osmond was my puppy love. I'm glad that didn't work out. Think about it. Okay, so you've had this, oh, it has to happen. It has to happen. No, it doesn't have to happen. Sometimes it would be like the worst thing that can ever happen to you in life. So number 9, get out there and try again. One of the best ways to deal with feeling rejected and defeated is to stop sulking. It was just the wrong person, okay? And get right back out there and try again. And fact, when dealing with relationship rejection, research shows that immediately putting yourself back into the dating game, if that's what you choose to do, can actually be better for your emotional well-being and recovery. I might add, do something for yourself first. Then if you still want to be out into the dating game, do it. But think of you first. Sometimes people jump right back into this dating thing way, way too soon. So you know what I mean? All right. Number 10, and this is a good one right here. This is getting some feedback. Now, after being rejected, your mind is probably racing with what in the world went wrong? What did I do? Well, one of the easiest ways to help yourself move on and deal with what happened is to get some feedback from the person you were rejected by, especially when it happens in your career. Oh man, how many people have just changed careers because they were rejected in one particular job position, and they thought, well, I guess that kind of wasn't. Maybe it was just the wrong place. Maybe it wasn't the career itself, it was the wrong place. Okay, now, if you're open to receiving feedback, and it can get harsh, and demonstrate this openness to coworkers, you'll receive a lot of feedback. Now, if you argue, deny, blame, or attack the person giving you the feedback, well, guess what? You're not going to get any help. Sometimes we just need good old-fashioned feedback. That helps. Keep up with the time. Okay, I've got to hurry. So I want to go with you with number 11. Realize there could be a deeper meaning. So after being rejected, it's easy to feel like you're at fault for being turned down, but it's important to remember that even though it feels like a rejection is a personal stab at you, it could be much more to do with the other person and how they're feeling at the moment. So if someone rejects you, there could be a deeper meaning behind it. Maybe they're in a nasty, bad mood. Or maybe something is going on in their life. You know, that's been the situation several times in my life. I just happened to be the wrong person at the wrong time coming into the room. And this happens a lot. Okay, number 12, refocus on your emotions. So let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, so instead of getting emotional after a rejection, which is so really easy to do, it recommends that you redirect your attention to the parts of the rejections that weren't really emotional. So instead of thinking about any words said in the rejection, sometimes people just spout out and say stuff they don't mean. I've done that a bunch of times. And the only thing about that now, when you say things you don't mean, you can't put it back in your mouth again. It's out there. And the other person's going to remember it forever. But you got to be truly sorry. Okay? Apologize immediately. Don't let time go by. Okay, think about how you and that person felt at that time. Think about non-emotional things like what the room looked like and what you were wearing. It can make you feel better about the situation overall. Okay, number 13, look at the bright side. Let's always look at the bright side. It might not feel like it now, but sometimes rejection is a true blessing in disguise. It's happened to me several times. Instead of taking it personally and feeling down about the situation, realize it just wasn't meant to be or right for you at this particular moment in your life. That way you can find the people and opportunities that really do belong in your life. And these can really send your mood to the stratosphere. Think about it that way. Jot it down how you felt about it at the time. I promise you it's going to get better. Again, sometimes it's just bad timing. Maybe another time in life things can be the way you wish, okay? My name is Donna. Thank you so much for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television. Channel 182 on Charter Communications, a Bondetch television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And also, don't forget that podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. Again, thank you so much for watching.